So Devin Haney and Rolly Romero have been going at it for the last couple of weeks, and they've been talking about a fight. As of right now, it doesn't look like the fight's gonna happen, but we're gonna go through the whole situation, see what happened, see the whole back and forth, and we're gonna talk about it. So we're gonna go through their tweets, and then we're gonna go and look at a video from Bill Haney at the end. If you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 1K. If you like boxing content like this, make sure to subscribe, and I'll always try to keep you updated. So Rolly Romero and Devin Haney beef. Let's talk about it. So it all started March 1st. Someone told Rolly Romero, fight Haney, right? Fight Haney. He says he likes to sue people when he loses, but I knock him out cold. Let's make it happen. Now, first of all, he's talking about the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia situation, and Ryan Garcia popped for PEDs. At the end of the day, there's no like at the end of the day, I feel like it's basically set in stone. Like, there's no reason to be defending Ryan anymore. I mean, it was proven in the court of law that he popped for PEDs, and that whether it's tainted or not, he popped for PEDs. He had PEDs in the system when he fought Devin Haney. Now, my personal thoughts, I'm gonna really try to keep it low. I do think he took PEDs against Devin Haney, but I digress. So then the dude responds to him, trust you will make everything through VADA before fighting him, because he want that, then you knock him out. He will find a way to say you cheated. That's just not how it works. VADA, I enrolled in everything without question every single time. Let's get tested every single day. I don't care. So then after what Rolly said, we go to Devin Haney. He says, we could have made this fight happen months ago. Now you desperate. Then Rolly Romero says, oh, now that I called your bluff, you want to run away? So much for the big tough guy act. Sign the contract. Then he says, what contract? Rolly, shut the fuck up. Then Rolly responded saying, you say sign the contract more than anyone in boxing. Stop acting like anyone is ducking you. My manager reached out to your dad. Sign the contract. And it's just a history of Devin Haney telling everybody to sign the contract, right? Then he also says Rolly don't want to fight that mandatory. He gonna get paid pennies and probably lose. He's talking about Shakram Giasov, who's his current mandatory in the WBA, and he is ducking the hell out of Shakram Giasov. There's no really excuses after now that the fight kind of fell through. There's no excuse. He needs to fight Shakram Giasov. Well, not anymore, because actually Shakram Giasov is now fighting Jack Catterall, so he gotta fight the winner of that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think he beats either, but we're gonna go through. After he says, you say sign the contract more than anyone, he says, yeah, when a real contract is actually sent, dumbass, F you and your manager. You made up all the reasons not to fight me, so now stand on it. Go find that mandatory. Then he goes and says, I know his manager was Lewis. That's my guy since way back. We haven't got a call from him though. Then he says, yo, Devin Haney, we called your daddy at noon. Tell him to pick up. We got our side of the deal done. Then he says, Rolly, I've never seen you this thirsty. You must have a deadline to face your mandatory or something. They say everything but let's fight. Your daddy said we gonna make the fight, then disappeared. Must have went out to grab some milk or something. I don't know what he means by that, but and now we got a video that Devin Haney reposted. Let's look at this.
I did hear a quote that you said that you don't care to face Devin Haney. He is a champion in your division. Explain why a Devin Haney fight is just not in the future for Rolly Romero.
I mean, Devin Haney didn't call me out. Who called me out?
Bill.
Okay. Why didn't they call me out after I fought Ryan?
The one thing I noticed, I'm gonna say this. One thing I noticed about Rolly, bro, he says like some of the most basic things, and just he talks a lot to the boxing media that doesn't really know much about boxing. So a lot of times when you see him go on these interviews and bash these people, like I remember when he was talking about Shakur, he's like, oh, who's Shakur for? And Shakur had better competition at the time than Rolly. He had better wins. A lot of people, when he goes on these, when he's doing these interviews and things like that, he always asking the interviewer questions, and then they just stumped because they don't even know what they talking about. So it's like they stumped. But Devin Haney, he didn't exactly. He's right though. He didn't. Devin didn't really exactly call Rolly out himself. Obviously, Bill called him out. But if Bill's calling you out, then Devin's gonna fight. He wants to fight you. Most of the time when Bill Haney calls somebody out, Devin Haney wants to fight them. He is gonna fight them. If his dad wants to fight, it's probably gonna he's gonna try to make it happen. It seems like that's what's when Bill Haney called out Xander, then Devin Haney started talking about Xander, talking about a fight with Xander, and now Xander's fighting Boots. So but yeah, I just want to say that real quick. Okay, so then we go to Rolly. See how easy it is to call Devin's bluff. Devin has officially ducked Rolly. Keyshawn Davis, Tiger Johnson is still in the middle of suing Ryan Garcia in the zone for airing the fight. Second part, I'm pretty sure is just false. Devin has ducked Rolly. The fact that he said he was ducking him was kind of crazy. Keyshawn Davis, he just didn't duck Keyshawn at all. Keyshawn didn't move up his ranking from the WBO to new weight class at 147. He didn't even officially move up yet, I don't think so. I don't know how he ducked him. And Tiger Johnson, he just don't deserve a title shot. So and then he says Devin's daddy is gonna be real sad on May 30th. Then Devin Haney reposted something. Damn, Rolly thirst levels at critical conditions. Rolly trying to backtrack years of saying he didn't want to fight Devin in one day is killing me. That is crazy because there was a lot of videos leading up to even before this whole situation where Devin Haney, where Rolly Romero was talking about, I don't want to fight Devin Haney. He's just a waste of my time. If I knock him out, he's gonna sue. So things like that. And then I said I thought you was Jehovah's Witness. Whatever that means. Rolly Romero's a Christian man. I don't know what this is all about, but we're just gonna move on. Then Rolly Romero says it's just me and God. Amen to that. Then he says to Devin Haney, "Are you getting cold feet?" Cam and May say Rolly Romero will stop Devin Haney. They don't know boxing. I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't know boxing. No more callback in this court or court that. I'm signed, sealed, and delivered. Big boy deal. The Haneys have always been soft and full of lies. I'm going to end y'all for good. Also, this is a tweet where Devin Haney said he did not sue the zone for not taking the fight down. So then we go later to March 25th. He says Devin Haney has no chin. Him and his daddy know it. Then he says, Rolly, you've been knocked out 3 times. Twice in a fight, once in sparring. And then he posted a video of Rolly getting dropped by Barroso. By the way, this was pure corruption at the fight. That he stopped Barroso. Barroso was absolutely putting the beats on Mr. Rolly Romero, and he just got the worst stoppage in the history of sport. But I digress. Then Rolly says, I know this doesn't really have to do with the beef, but then Rolly says it's sad how everyone attacks me when I'm always trying to bring the biggest fights in boxing. 19 fights and I fight everyone. Yeah, I mean, I will say this about Rolly. He does bring big fights. He does bring good fights, but let's not act like he's just fought the literal best of the best. Outside of Tank, he hasn't fought the best of the best. Ryan Garcia is a Tank victim. He's not really the best fighter in the world. They realistically chose Rolly for that fight so that he could just be a tune-up, so he could get knocked out, and they could get the Devin Haney rematch going. But I'll give him credit. He beat Ryan Garcia, and he proved that he was just not going to be a little, tune-up for Ryan Garcia. And, yeah, he beat him. And then also, the Eastside Cruz fight. Eastside Cruz, I don't really find to be that good of a fighter. He's big only because he had a good fight with Gervonta Davis. That's realistically why he's big, and he's really not that good. His best, he's famous for literally losing. So he hasn't really fought the best of the best outside of Tank Davis. Tank Davis, at that time, even then, he still wasn't the best of the best. You know, he was one of the best in the world though. So I'll give him credit. You know, for fighting Gervonta Davis. That's one of the best in the world at that time. Rolly delusional, acting like he's some kind of draw, but can't sell out a ballroom. That's why the fight hasn't been made yet. The money isn't right. I'm looking at other options. He can go fight his mandatory since he's a draw. I mean, that's not ridiculous to say, you know. If you're this draw and you think you deserve to be a 50-50 fighter with Devin Haney, former undisputed champion, when you got one belt that was a fluke win, other belt that was emailed. So you're not a crazy draw. We haven't seen Rolly Romero outside of these fights where he's fighting the big fighters in the main event. He's not really the main event a lot of times, you know. Barroso, you know, it was in a little ballroom. You know, Rolly Romero versus Isaac Cruz, it was on the undercard. Even his return fight versus Manuel Jaime was on the undercard, you know. So outside of fighting these big fighters, he's not really a draw at all, you know. He's fighting on undercards a lot of the time. So then Rolly Romero posts this, or reposts this, you know. By the way, this dude is probably one of the worst creators on Twitter. I'm just be honest. Very biased takes, nasty takes, right? Didn't they just say it? Rolly sent a good offer last week. I mean, maybe they did. I don't even know. Rolly beat Ryan, something Haney couldn't do. I mean, the dude literally popped for PD. So, I mean, how you gonna put him at fault for getting basically cheated? But Rolly has a belt. I will give him that. He does have a belt. He has something, you know. He's yet to defend that belt though, you know. So you gotta defend that belt or get a unification going. Rolly has headlined more pay-per-views than Haney. Cause let me think, how many pay-per-views did Haney? Let me look this up. At least 4. Ryan Garcia, Regis Prograis, Vasily Lomachenko, Kambosos 1 and 2, both for pay-per-views. So that's with Kambosos 1 and 2, both of them were pay-per-views. So that's 2. Then Devin Haney, then Vasily Lomachenko, 3. Regis Prograis, 4. Ryan Garcia, 5. So 5 headline pay-per-views. Now let's do the same thing. Rolly Romero. Based on a boxing career, April 2025, he has co-headlined 2 major pay-per-views. Gervonta Davis, Rolly Romero, and Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. 2 headliners. And Isaac Cruz versus Rolly Romero was a co-main, so that don't even count. So that's already debunked, you know. I'm here to fact check things, you know. I'm gonna bring you the truth, whether it's on whoever side I like, whoever side I don't like, it don't matter. I'm gonna bring facts, you know. He hasn't headlined more pay-per-views than Devin Haney, so that's just a lie. Rolly is the real draw between the two. No, Devin Haney has sold more pay-per-views out of the two, you know. Obviously, Rolly and Ryan did. I'm pretty sure that did terrible pay-per-view numbers, if I'm not mistaken. And Gervonta Davis and Rolly, I think, did somewhere around like 300K. Did pretty decent. Haney is ducking Rolly Romero in broad daylight. This is crazy. So this is just a really bad tweet. Like I said, I already done told y'all, you know, this guy's he's a yapper. This is what we call a yapper right here. This guy, you know, he literally just lied, you know, in the post, you know. That's just weird, but we move. Then I had a big guarantee for a fight. Guess that Haney Promotions couldn't do the same for Devin. Then he says, big money is not the same to us, pal. Sit this one out. Then he says, hey, Bill, so do you understand the way it works? PBC and TGB cover my purse out under an upside of my 50% split. And Devin Haney Promotions carries a fight purse of his 50% split. I guess Devin Haney Promotions isn't a real promotion company. First of all, Rolly and Devin Haney Rolly and Devin Haney is not a 50-50 split fight. I'm sorry. Devin Haney should have the upside. He's the bigger draw. He's headlined more pay-per-views. He's done more in his career, most importantly. Former undisputed champion of 3-division world champion. Rolly Romero, 2-division world champion. 1 email belt, 1 fluke belt. Come on, guys. Let's be honest. Then he says, what, dumbass? You think I'm going to do business with you with no guarantee? Trust you guys to do the right thing with the numbers and expenses? Yeah, F no. I mean, okay. Then this is April 2nd. They came to me with a list of expenses of $6 million. I make my first dollar after the $6 million is allocated, and on top of all that, I split 50% with Rolando, who hasn't made $2 million in one fight ever. Yeah. If I'm being honest, that seems very unfair to me. Rolly Romero, not really a huge draw, like I said. Outside of Gervonta Davis and Rolly Romero, not really big pay-per-view numbers. And even then, I don't even think he had, even Devin Haney, I don't even think him and Ryan's fight didn't do any good with pay-per-view numbers. I'm pretty sure it actually did pretty bad. Already then, not really a big pay-per-view star, like they try to say he is, not really a big pay-per-view star. Devin Haney, he's been with the big pay-per-views, the Vasily Lomachenko pay-per-view, the Ryan Garcia pay-per-view. I don't think Kambosos 1 and 2 were really that big, but those are still some pay-per-views. He's done more pay-per-views than him and headline more pay-per-views than him. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of summarize it. So if you're not understanding what he's saying, basically they came with a list of expenses of $6 million. Then once the $6 million is made from the event, Devin Haney will get his first dollar, and then after that they will split obviously the $6 million between the two 50-50. So I'm pretty sure Devin Haney would get like $2 million, if I'm not mistaken, $2 or $3 million, something like that. Which for unification, if this is supposed to be a big fight, $2 to $3 million in a non-guaranteed purse, get out of here. No, I'm gonna just be honest, get out of here. If I was Devin Haney in this situation, I wouldn't take that either. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is crazy. Then he posts this clip of Devin getting dropped and Rolly dropping Ryan. Then he said this. Okay, that's just, what the hell? What the hell? Bro, come on, bro, this is green, bro. This is green for both sides, bro. Why they gotta get turned into mood, bro? Like, this is crazy work. I don't know why they're going after looks, but yeah. God keep blessing me so much. It just keeps getting better each time. God bless Rolly. But so basically what we read off the tweets, I'm gonna be honest. It seems like this fight's not happening because of PBC. Basically PBC and Rolly Romero. Well, mostly PBC, because how are you gonna get a decently big star like Devin Haney, who's had many pay-per-views, who fought Vasily Lomachenko and, had the decent pay-per-view numbers. You're gonna go to him and tell him, we got expenses of $6 million. Then you're not gonna get a guaranteed purse. You're not gonna make no money until we make $6 million. And then he's gonna have to split 50-50 with Rolly Romero. You're not serious. You're not serious. Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. This is completely unbiased take. I'm gonna just be honest, bro. Like, I don't get how anybody could say Devin ducked Rolly, or he's ducking Rolly, or anything like this. Like, what type of purse is that? $2 million already is $2 to $3 million is already crazy. For a guy like Devin Haney, that's crazy. He should be making a little more than that, at least 5. He should be making 5 upwards. He shouldn't have to split 50-50 with Rolly Romero at all. Like, I'm gonna just be honest, like, at all. He shouldn't have to split with 50-50 with Rolly Romero. But now we got a video from Champ Side, and this is Bill Haney talking about the PBC negotiations and the no guarantee for Rolly. So let's go. Let's get it.
You know what I mean? Representing us. Well, it's a good opportunity for them to hear it from me. You know what I mean? Representing us and our brand. Of course, our history will show that we've done far more than what anyone else has done in the younger generation about this legacy, and quite a few of the older guys in terms of crossing platforms, crossing the sides of the street, taking short money. You know what I mean? Signing promotional contracts to do things. So for this to be a true co-promotion between PBC and DHP, well, Rolly doesn't have any privy, or he doesn't know anything about those negotiations. From what it takes to have the site fee, the sponsorships, everything that'll go into making the show possible for the guys to get the money. That's normally the talk of us, DHP, me, and the other promoters and companies that we've worked with in the past. What Turkey Al Sheikh has done is he's come in and given us the ability to have guaranteed fights without having to worry about any of the logistics, any of the pay-per-views, sponsorships, how many seats you're going to sell, so on and so forth. The overall budget to the fight.
So first, I want to pause real quick. I'm gonna be honest. The fact that the PBC has this whole like non-guaranteed, like they're trying to offer that, or even if they have that general, this whole non-guaranteed, that is insane. I feel like as a fighter, I feel like as fighters, they're putting their lives on the line here. For them not to get a guaranteed purse until you make money from the event that you have to promote. And if you couldn't make the money from the fight that you had to promote, then why is it their fault? Why is it them? They're not gonna get money until you make your money back. Like that, like nah, that's goofy to me. At the end of the day, it's your job as promoters to promote the fight as much as they like fighters can promote the fight as well. It's ultimately the job of the promotion company to sell the fight, make people buy pay-per-views. And PBC, I'm gonna be honest, in the last couple of years haven't really been too good at doing that. The ridiculously high pay-per-view price, what I'm saying, not making the huge fights, not making the unifications. Like basically most of the time when we see pay-per-view fights on PBC, it's contenders going at it, or it's purely one of their fighters fighting a tune-up. Like it just is what it is. That's a lot of the time what these cards are. And this is why they're not really selling a lot of pay-per-views. I don't even think Charlo fight really did. Actually no, I don't think. I'm hearing that the Fedora fight didn't really do too many pay-per-views. A lot of their past fights weren't doing that many good of pay-per-views. And the pay-per-view model is pretty much dead. DAZN with their ultimate deal, they got a really good thing with that. And I think PBC should go over and join the team with DAZN. You know what I'm saying?
So when you talk about doing a fight without Turkey, well then it takes what me and you talked about was, what's that word that you use? Projections.
I ain't gonna lie, trying to do a fight without Turkey is a little insane. Like, I mean, to be honest, like that's damn near just free money, bro. Like to help you get towards a fight. I don't know why you want to do a fight without Turkey.
We talked about what the projections, because that's the only thing that you can do, and then come to an understanding of what our projections is, what their projections is, and then an agreement. And we couldn't come to an agreement based on that, and as of now. But I don't disregard that we can come up with something. later on. But right now, we couldn't come to a resolution that I was comfortable with giving it to Devin and saying that I believe in it, that it's a good move. And for that, I spent as much time as I could on it. And Devin ultimately made the decision as the boss that he is and saying, this just ain't going to work out. We're going to have to explore some other options.
Right. So basically what I hashed, you know, like I'm not quoting everything you said, but basically you said that PBC was not offering a guarantee, that y'all were going to split 50 DHP and PBC of the pay-per-view and the gate revenue after they recouped, meaning after they paid off their costs and expenses. Is that correct?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And when you have a network in the zone that has a guarantee, or you have Turkey, or you have something in that case as a guarantee, well, then you have something to look to as an addition to everything else. And without a guarantee from Amazon or Prime or any of that, then that made it even more challenging on our part to come up to an agreement.
Right. And you said you requested a guarantee, but they declined?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. In every deal, there should be some type of guarantee from somebody that they're participating, and it's a part of the revenue stream. That's not to say that maybe this particular fight with Rolly is not getting what I would like it to get, the fight that I like it to be. You see what I mean? Because you don't have Turkey, or you don't have anyone standing up and raising their hand about it. So it's something that, like I say, we have to revisit at another date and time. When we have someone that's interested, that's bringing some money to the table to make it less challenging, or we go back to the drawing board and try to draw up something that can make it make sense.
Is this the fight that, what would they? I guess it's, well, you were basically quote unquote crossing the street, even though y'all kind of move wherever y'all want to go. But is this a fight that Turkey could have? Is this a fight that Turkey can take on so that y'all don't have to worry about all of that?
Oh, absolutely. That would be something that would be on the table for both teams to look at. And if history has it, the way that Turkey has been doing this, it's always something good.
Yeah, you were talking about if Turkey had his hands on the Rolly fight.
Yeah. A lot of these things, don't never get talked about. They never get discussed. They never have negotiation when you're part of the Riyadh season. In our experiences. So, like I said, it just becomes more challenging to put the fight on when there's no one participating in it other than PBC, DHP, Devin, and Rolly.
Yeah. So, I guess you wouldn't know, but I was wondering if they're gonna try to fight on that date anyway against whoever, because maybe they have a venue secured or something. But okay, so I mean, I kind of already talked about that. I already talked about the Rolly and the so it's risky if you don't have a guarantee and you strictly rely on pay-per-view.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest. You kind of get the gist. You basically said what Devin was saying. There was no guarantee in the deal. With no guarantee, it's just not good to do, a fight with no guarantee, especially if fighters are going in there putting their life on the lines, and then also a 50-50 split with Rolly, bro. Come on, again. And also the 50-50 split with the promotion companies. It seemed like that wasn't trying to happen. No. But yeah, at the end of the day, the fight's not happening. It seems like, we're gonna see if later down the line it happens, but from what it looks like right now, the fight is not happening. But hopefully we can see Devin back in the ring soon, whether it's against Ryan, whether it's against Rolly, whether it's against even somebody else. I just want to see Devin back in the ring soon. And even Rolly, it would be cool to see Rolly back in the ring. Even though I don't think he's the best fighter or really even that good. What the Hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. See y'all on the next video. Jesus loves you. Peace.